Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be unpacking the thrilling and honestly deeply thought-provoking narrative of The Artist and the Sapphire Pen. This is one of those stories that just masterfully blends urban fantasy with a high-stakes psychological thriller, all while forcing us to ask some really fundamental questions about human nature. So, I want you to start off by asking yourself this kind of crazy, provocative question. What would you actually do if you could draw absolutely anything into reality? I mean, would you just fix your immediate problems? Would you go after limitless wealth? Or would you be one of the few to recognize the incredible danger that comes with having ultimate power? Keep your own answer in mind because this exact mind-bending scenario crashes right into the cold reality of our protagonist. Which brings us right to the core premise of our story today. It really boils down to this one idea. Wealth gained without effort often becomes a test of character. We're going to focus heavily on that intersection of temptation and morality and see how sudden, completely unearned power strips away all our masks to reveal who we truly are. Okay, let's get into it. Part 1. The struggling artist and his desperate status quo. Picture this, it's a freezing winter morning in New York City, right outside the bustling Grand Plaza Mall. Here is where we meet Adam. He's 22 years old, and the stakes for this guy literally could not be higher. He is 3 months behind on rent, and just as he gets back to his tiny, freezing apartment, his landlord hits him with a harsh ultimatum. 10 days. He has exactly 10 days to pay up or he's out on the street. The contrast of Adam's reality is just heartbreaking. He's got this undeniable, immense drawing talent, right? But he's out there setting up a small canvas tent with just a simple wooden table, trying to capture the innocent smiles of kids and the memories of tourists just walking by. But talent alone doesn't pay the rent. He doesn't have a wealthy family to fall back on. He relies entirely on erratic tourist traffic. And a lot of nights, he goes to bed completely hungry. He's got hands full of talent, but as he whispers to himself, absolutely zero luck. Which leads us to Part 2, the magic sapphire pen, a massive turning point. So here's where a totally simple request changes Adam's life forever. Around noon, a little girl asks for a portrait, bringing a rare smile to his face. But just minutes into the sketch, his regular dark blue marker completely runs dry. He opens his old wooden art box and out of nowhere finds this long, elegant pen shimmering with a deep sapphire blue glow. Obviously curious, he tests it out by drawing a tiny blue circle on the paper. The ink actually begins to glow. The drawing physically rises from the paper, and a real, tangible blue stone drops right onto his table. In a matter of seconds, the impossible becomes real. And you know how human temptation works. It escalates super fast. Adam rushes home, bolts the door, and starts small. Step 1, a bright red apple. Boom, it drops onto the table, perfectly juicy and fresh. He calls his best friend Jack over because he's terrified he's losing his mind. To prove he isn't crazy, we hit Step 2. Adam draws a solid gold ring, and it materializes with this heavy thud. By Step 3, they are seriously testing the limits, drawing a 1-kilogram gold bar. And finally, Step 4. Adam draws a bundle of $100 bills. The paper just glows brighter than ever, and endless stacks of cash literally start pouring out, filling the room until the two of them are stumbling over a mountain of money. Now for Part 3, a dangerous obsession and its sudden consequences. You see, sudden wealth doesn't just bring financial freedom. It brings sudden and pretty terrifying consequences. Adam and Jack actually try to be smart about this. They don't go out on some wild, flashy spending spree. No, they legally sell a few gold bars, they hire a financial advisor, and they open a legit company account. But ironically, it's that cautious attempt to enter the legal financial system that triggers their entire downfall. The automated banking security flags an unknown street artist suddenly depositing millions of dollars. And this doesn't just alert the feds in Washington, it alerts much darker, far more powerful forces. And this brings us to a really fascinating clash in how two completely different humans approach having ultimate power. On one side, we have Adam. He's inherently cautious. Even with unlimited godlike power, he only takes exactly what he needs. He even hides the magic pen under his floorboards out of genuine fear. Contrast that with our antagonist, Victor Black. To the public, he's a respected billionaire, but secretly, he's a man utterly obsessed with recovering supernatural artifacts. He's ruthless, he's calculating, and he immediately deploys his operatives to monitor Adam 24/7. It's just a total psychological divide between these two guys. Just look at how incredibly fast their little safety net collapses. Day 1, they make their deposits. By day 3, the account is flagged. That very same evening,
Adam notices a weird stranger staring at him in the park, and Jack spots this black, luxury sedan with tinted windows just idling outside their apartment. And then, the story pivots into a full-on thriller. Just after midnight, the power cuts out entirely, glass shatters. A guy in full tactical gear and night vision goggles breaches the apartment, walking straight toward those secret floorboards. Adam acts fast and manages to trap the intruder by frantically drawing a massive steel cage. But the intruder, he just laughs this deeply unsettling laugh and reveals a staggering number to Adam: 30. For 30 years, dozens of people have literally lost their lives trying to possess this exact supernatural pen. Adam isn't just holding a cool magic trick, he's holding a cursed artifact painted in decades of blood. So the real crucial point is what happens next. Victor Black himself arrives at the apartment in a limousine, and he doesn't attack immediately. Instead, he presents Adam with a psychological test. He opens up a black briefcase stuffed with diamonds, gold, and offshore bank documents, and he offers Adam $10 billion for the pen. $10 billion. For a kid who was literally starving in a tent 3 days ago, this is the ultimate test of his resolve. And yet Adam looks at all that money and simply says, no. Victor's reaction is just chilling. He packs up his briefcase without a fight, but before he walks out the door, he drops one final, terrifying statistic on Adam. 1. He warns Adam that not a single owner of that sapphire pen has ever survived for more than 1 year. Moving on to part 4, the final test. The ultimate crossroads. The climax of our story relocates to an ancient stone temple deep within a jungle, which turns out to be the original resting place of the pen. Here, Adam is forced to use the artifact not for cash, but for his very survival. Surrounded by Victor's armed guards, bullets actually start flying. Adam's hands are just moving frantically over his paper. He draws a transparent bulletproof shield that materializes just in time to stop a bullet. He draws this towering stone wall to block the guards, a solid steel bridge to get across the ruins, and a giant reinforced net to trap his attackers. But there is a massive cost to all this magic. With every desperate creation, the glowing blue ink inside the pen is physically draining away. And then, just as only a few tiny drops of ink remain, these glowing golden words magically illuminate across the ancient temple wall. They read, "The final stroke may only be drawn once." This brings Adam to the ultimate crossroads of his character. He only has enough ink for one last drawing. What's it going to be? Does he draw a massive weapon? Does he draw a mountain of gold to try and bargain for his life? Adam closes his eyes. He remembers all his struggles, his mother's prayers, the little girl in the park, and he chooses to sketch a simple, glowing blue door. As the door materializes in front of him, this booming voice echoes from the light inside. The magic pen was never a gift. It was a test. Those who chose greed were destined to fail. Those who chose compassion would always prevail. The pen suddenly dissolves into pure light, drifting right through the door before vanishing forever. And Victor Black, he just drops to his knees, completely, utterly defeated, watching his decades of greed literally turn to dust. And finally, part 5, the real magic and those profound choices. So, the dust settles, Victor is arrested by the authorities, and we get to see the aftermath of Adam's profound choice. Months later, Adam is right back where he started. He's sitting at his simple wooden table outside the Grand Plaza Mall. He's using completely ordinary paintbrushes. The billions of dollars? Gone. The magic sapphire pen? Gone. But he is completely unburdened by it all. For the first time, he has finally found true peace. Because Adam realizes something crucial. The true magic never actually lived in the sapphire pen. It existed within his own inherent human qualities all along. It was his undeniable artistic talent. It was his relentless hard work pushing through days of starvation. It was the unwavering goodness of his heart, and ultimately the choice to put compassion over greed when his very life was on the line. So, what is the ultimate takeaway here? It's that success earned through honesty, skill, perseverance, and kindness, that is the kind of treasure that lasts forever. The story proves time and time again that a magical shortcut, or wealth gained without effort, is really nothing more than a trap. It's a psychological and moral test that most people completely fail. Earned success is the only victory that truly belongs to you. Which leaves us with this final thought. Look at your own life, your own goals, and your own everyday struggles. Are you just sitting in your tent waiting for some magic pen to fall into your lap and magically solve all your problems? Or are you picking up an ordinary paintbrush, putting in the actual hard work, and earning a treasure that lasts forever? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.